a new link, or we go live?
Yep.
No, we're going live from here.
It's live.
1 second.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Okay, and we are live. We have the Real Housewives of Real Estate, and we are with our good friend, Kevin Buttigieg. I think I got it correct, from Malta. And
you got it good.
Yes, and so the crazy thing about having Kevin on our show today is myself, Annette, Alexa, Tabitha, Sandy, and Kevin. The last time we saw each other was about 45 days ago in Las Vegas for Remax R4, and Steve Aoki was there with us. And we were dancing at Hakkasan, having the greatest times of our life. And look where we're at today. We're all at home, and we're all working on how to cope with the COVID-19 pandemic. And we are lucky to have Kevin from Malta to share how his region is staying positive and working through all of their issues. So we'll go ahead and go in a circle here, and everybody can introduce themselves and say where they're from. And then we'll go ahead and get started. I am Kinsey Lee Eggles with Remax Realty Group in Southwest Florida.
And I'm Sandra Massari with Remax Excellence in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, which is known as the mushroom capital of the world. And I'm also licensed in Maryland and Delaware, just outside of Philly.
And I'm Tabitha Wewell with Remax.
Go ahead, Tab.
This is what's so much fun about this group. All right, Tabitha Wewell with Remax Beyond 2000 in the Cleveland, Northeast area of Ohio, Northeast. And yeah, Alexa or Annette?
I'm Alexa Caballo Hughes with Remax Right Choice in Connecticut.
And Annette Dalton with Remax Desert Showcase from Phoenix, Peoria, Arizona.
Off to you, Kevin.
All right. So from all over the way, I'm from a little island called Malta. It's about 90 kilometers below Sicily.
Okay.
Island is 9 by 60 miles, 450,000 people. So it's quite a small little island. We got hit with the COVID-19 4 days after I came back from Vegas. So I didn't even get a chance to get rid of my hangover. But that was okay.
It doesn't seem like it's only been 45 days. It feels like so long.
I know, it does.
Well, I've been,
yeah.
we've been home for a little bit longer, I think.
Yeah, we closed shops on March 9th. So we've been closed for, I think this is our 7th week this week. It's tough. It's different. Malta has taken it on as a country quite well compared to most. So we're actually controlling it. We just have about just under 500 cases in total.
It's good.
It looks like we'll start opening up in the next 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks. It's very open. It depends on how things go these next few weeks. So we're all very hesitant and waiting to see what's going to happen. We are on let's call it a semi-lockdown. So supermarkets and pharmacies and are open. You're allowed to go for a walk, and you're allowed to be in a group of maximum of 3. There are very severe penalties if you are in a group of more than 3. I think it's 9,000 euros penalty. So
how much is 9,000 euros?
Pretty much taking it on quite well, and everybody's. It's about $11,000.
US.
Okay.
Steep.
US dollars, yeah. So
US dollars. Okay.
But on the whole, the Maltese have taking it on quite well, and people are doing their social distancing. What we've done in our region is we are still showing of some apartments. Obviously, most of the apartments most of the houses, apartments, and condos where people are living in them, we're not showing those. So we've been doing a lot of virtual tours. Probably about 50% of our workforce is working. The other 50% have decided that, hey, let's wait till this is over. It's not for me, but that's fine because obviously the business isn't what it used to be. A lot of the clients aren't really willing to look at property right now. Everybody's sort of waiting on the fence to see what's going to happen with the market. But on the whole, I mean, we're handling it quite well. We've taken this time to organize all our agents. I mean, we have 30, 50 agents. And what we've been doing is doing a lot of training, a lot of webinars. An average of 2 to 3 webinars a day are available. Plus, we're doing some webinars which are actually open to the public to give some people in the public something to do. And it's sort of, let's say, a semi-recruitment tool at the moment. And on the whole, you know, I guess what I would say about this situation, yeah, I mean, no doubt about it, it sucks. But from a positive note, I think it's made everybody take a reality check. It's made everybody think and start appreciating what they have. I think in the future, all of us will think differently and live differently. I think a lot of us, the smart ones, have taken the time to organize themselves, get things done that they have never had time to do. And then one of the things for sure that I will be doing is setting aside more time to spend with my family. Over here, anybody over 65 is in complete lockdown, so I haven't seen my parents' balcony window since for the last 7 weeks, which they only live about 200. But you know, so yeah, it's made everybody think differently. I think it's a real. I think we've all learned how to use these Zoom calls and these different kind of chat rooms. I think they're awesome. I think a lot of us will use them much more. I mean, I figure by using Zoom in our industry, once we're back to normal, we'll save each manager that usually comes for management meetings at our head office, and we just do 1 face-to-face meeting a month and 3 Zoom calls. We'll save approximately 10 hours a week for each manager, 10 hours a month for each manager. So things, it's opened everybody's eyes. Malta, I think capacity and transaction wise, we're probably running at 20-25% max of what we used to do. So yeah, it's a bit of a hit. We're taking it a bit easy. Really the story here. People are, you know, making conversations, trying to get their the people that they know would be interested in the future of what's happening in the real estate market. So we're keeping everybody in tune, and that's about it. But I honestly think that our group will come out of this stronger than when we went. The good news is we had a lot of cowboys around here in Malta. You know, we don't have licensing here in Malta. We've been trying to promote it for the past 15 years with all the governments that have been in power. I think I've managed finally, and we're at the final hurdle. But this will also clean up all the cowboys and get rid of all the let's call them I don't know what to call them, but they're definitely not real estate agents. So
right?
It will make the market better. What?
Yes, the renegades of real estate.
Yep, the wild, wild west of real estate, right? Cowboys and Indians running around.
They're worse than renegades of real estate, you know. they'll disappear now. A lot of them, and we'll just clean it up, and we'll take a bigger market share. And I'm quite positive about the whole situation. So I think
I can't
yes,
imagine
for 3 months, but we'll make it up.
I can't imagine how they would work if they're
Yep.
not even required to be licensed. Wow.
Well, and we have another broker owner.
Well, I mean,
with the same coming on the show tomorrow. So,
wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, we work just like you do. We work diligently. We do all our training at our head office. We train 250 days of the year. So we've got training going on at our office of all different levels all the time. It's just the fact that the government has never made anybody get a license. So over here in Malta, you could wake up in the morning and decide that you're a real estate agent, and you could start doing advertising tomorrow and start showing around houses. So it's an issue. And obviously when the market is so heated and so hot and there's so much going on, we had the strongest real estate market in Europe for a couple of years now. And obviously everybody wants to jump in on the bandwagon. So people get cheated. People are unprofessional. It's just it's a whole charade. But fortunately, a lot of the customers, thank God, they find us and we sort out their issues. And if we get in time, we save them from making a bad deal or, and then there are other good agents like us as well. So I can't say everybody's bad. But the truth is I think we'll get a good cleanup now, a reality check. Obviously, over here, our hotels are all closed. I don't believe that Malta will open its airports until the end of this year. So our tourism industry, which is the biggest earner in Malta, will be dead this year. So yes, we're going to have big economic problems, and it's going to be quite a tough ride. I think before we see any type of normality, it will be 12 to 18 months. At least, could be even 24. I don't think the hotels will see any tourists until March next year. So we can't open the airports for the simple reason if all of Europe still has this thing going on, then we start letting people in, it will just spread like wildfire again. So we need to keep it contained. I mean, we've got Italy next door, who unfortunately have probably handled it the worst in the world, next to Spain, and it's just the way it is, So I mean, people are dying every day. Not thank God, but I mean, most of them are over 65 and have some internal problems and stuff like that. But on the whole, we've handled it quite well. We've only had 3 deaths. All our deaths were people over 75 with critical conditions already before COVID-19. So, it's not nice to say that they were on their way out anyway, but they were. That's the reality of it. So we're feeling okay that we'll get out of it. Obviously, I think the hardest part is going to be the economy. The economy is going to be a disaster. We'll see a lot of people go bankrupt. I mean, it will go Europe-wide, this whole thing. It will be a disaster for all Europe. And, as much as you guys and everybody wants to complain about your Trump, I can tell you our European Union has actually made a complete farce of this whole thing, and they have done absolutely nothing. And Europe is just one big joke, as far as a government or whatever. I mean, they're a complete disaster. They've left Italy on their own when they were in a state of emergency. Imagine you're in Europe and you got Russia, Cuba, and the Chinese bailing you out, and no one from and European Union doing nothing for you. So a lot of people in Europe are very, very upset with the European Union. And that's our situation really in a nutshell here in Malta and Europe.
And now, Kevin. Oh, sorry.
So any other questions?
Yeah. So Kevin, now talk to us a little bit about your market in general. Are they generally people that are second homes, international buyers? I'm just curious, because you mentioned that there's not going to be a lot of tourism, and that's your number one revenue for Malta. So I'm curious to hear a little bit more about some of those dynamics in your marketplace as far as who the typical buyer is and who you see moving.
Yeah, well, Malta per capita worldwide is the highest percentage of home ownership. 85% of Maltese own their own home. So our rental market is mostly foreign-based expats living in Malta. We are an onshore tax haven in Europe, so we have quite an abundance of foreign workers working in Malta. I think it's just under 100,000, which is roughly 25% of our population. So they are renting a lot of our apartments. So yes, a lot of Maltese as a sort of pension of thing. They invest in a lot of rental homes. We have on this little island 9 by 16, and then we have a sister island which is called Gozo, which is 5 by 10. On these two islands alone, we have just over 11,000 Airbnb properties.
Wow.
So that obviously will take a big hit because there won't be any tourists for that. So our market has been a lot of investment, a lot of commercial investment. So they are renting. Yep.
Sorry about that, guys.
So on the whole, no problem. On the whole, then we have a lot of foreigners who have invested in Malta as a second place to be a second residence. A lot of with all the things happening in Africa and the Middle East and stuff, we've had a lot of in Turkey, and we've had a lot of very rich human beings buy properties in Malta as a plan B in case something goes wrong in their country. We're very, very perfectly located in the middle. We're at the bottom of the Mediterranean, but we're 80 kilometers this way to Africa. We're 90 kilometers this way to Sicily. So as a hub, we're quite well located for anybody to get around quite quickly. Our airport is very, very busy. They're building a whole nother they were building a whole nother terminal. They still will do it. And when we're back in full swing, we'll be seeing a lot of cross Atlantic flights. Now, Malta's a busy place. We're also the international gambling hub of the world. So all the internet gambling companies in the world are all based in Malta. Just over 400 of them. We're the second largest ship registry in the world. We're the second largest aircraft registry in the world. So yeah, there's a lot going on in Malta. I mean, our economy has been absolutely booming for the last 7 years. We've enjoyed a good time. So business has been great.
We have a
go ahead.
question here from Paul Hannon.
Question. Yeah.
In Canada. Kevin, Paul is asking, Kevin, you see things related to COVID remaining continued challenges for 1 to 2 years. Your market was hot, as is ours here. Do you anticipate a hit to prices in Malta in the next 1 to 2 years?
Well, look, it's a question I keep asking myself. Hello.
I see you again.
Hello.
I've got you. I hear you.
Hello.
We hear you. We know it was a hot question.
What's happening now? We're there. We're good.
Can you hear us?
Yeah,
Can you
I
hear
can
us?
hear you.
Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me?
That'd be a question I wouldn't want to answer. I'd be like, I can't hear you.
You're like, oh, we lost you. I mean, no one has a crystal ball.
All right, there we go.
All right.
Right.
Back.
There we go. There we go.
All right.
So our transactions that have been happening now, we haven't seen any change in the price. So the 8 to 10 sales we're doing a week at the moment, we haven't seen any change from before COVID-19 and even from last year. So that's already giving us a sign that people are still willing to pay the price. I think what you'll see is a small price correction. And I think, obviously, but then it gets misinterpreted by people. You're going to get a lot of people that are going to go bankrupt, that are going to have issues. So if their business is running and they have 5 or 6 rental properties and they need cash to inject into their business to keep it alive, they need to sell quickly and cash out. As you know, it costs.
Yeah, we're having some difficulty.
I'm on the edge of my seat here.
I know.
Kevin just
Really good.
Well, you know what? While Kevin's getting ready, we can talk about that here too, because I'm not seeing any difference in our prices. I'm not seeing any drop with people thinking that it's going to tank and this is going to happen. But it's not. We're holding solid. I think everybody is doing what they need to do, but they're staying optimistic and letting business roll forward. With the sales of the houses, people have to sell, people have to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul, your question did break the internet.
Yeah. Paul always manages to break something.
Yes, I agree.
But yeah, we're having the same thing, Tabitha, in Connecticut. So we're still down about 25% from the height of the market. And this year we're anticipated to go up by 7%. Our January and February, we had the strongest sales. March was pretty good. However, April, we're definitely dipping down. So I think just like Kevin said, just like Tabitha said, sales are still pretty strong price-wise, but I think we'll see, we're all kind of waiting to see how things go.
Yeah, I mean, take it like this. We have 238 countries caught up in this COVID-19, right? Do you honestly think that 100% of those countries are all going to go down in price and property? I don't believe so. I think it's almost impossible for every single country to take a dip in property. But it could happen. I don't have a crystal ball, and no one has ever experienced anything like this. Not even there weren't as many countries involved in World War II as there are in COVID-19. So it's been 100 years plus before anything like this has ever happened. So
that's true.
We have to sit on the fence, analyze it, keep trucking, and hopefully everything pans out in a good way.
I agree.
and
What
it will.
you and all of your agents doing? How many agents and offices do you currently have?
I've got 450.
Okay. And that's what I thought. And what are you doing other than training? And how are your agents staying positive and staying happy while being on such a strict America obviously is not as strict as Malta when it comes to the regulations of what we can and cannot do. How are you keeping your team positive and happy and excited to continue to move forward once this is over?
Well, I mean, like I said, we're doing these webinars very often. Some of them are training, but through Remax Europe and Remax Integra in Canada, who are the owners of Remax Europe, we're lucky that we have a lot of international speakers. Like today, we just had Tom Perry, who did a 2-hour webinar for our whole European group. There were over 3,000 people on the webinar. We've had Jesse Peters. We've had quite a few, Richard Robbins, quite a few top-notch speakers, which has kept everybody busy. I'm doing motivational speeches and keeping people to understand that this is a great opportunity for them, especially the new agents, because now it's time for them to take time and really get to know the industry, get to ask questions, get to understand a bit more, get organized, start creating their network. I mean, this downtime can be a super time because it's not the first time that you're the best agent in the world, and you spend a 2-3 month period of hitting the goalpost all the time and not making a sale. It happens to everybody. So if everybody's out of this in, at least living a half normal situation in 3 months, then people can start getting back on track. And in our industry, especially being, I'm presuming out of the 2,000 agents that are working in our industry now, it will drop drastically to 1,200 because the Cowboys will disappear, and that's where market can get. Hello.
I can hear you again now.
What's happening?
So it's really great to hear that with your regulations that your country, even though it's a smaller country in a smaller area, that you're coming out. Can you hear me?
Hello.
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 I hear you.
We're breaking the internet.
I know. And anytime we bring Kevin anywhere, we break something.
Fact.
True fact. I think last time we broke them away.
I think last time I broke myself.
Yeah.
All I can say is that was the best time ever.
Yeah.
I had to order a crane from MGM to lift my head off the pillow the next day.
We had so much fun, let me tell you. And it's great because yesterday we had Yuka from Finland on our show, and today we have you. Tomorrow we have Gabriella from Nicaragua. And then we have a double dose of our Remax favorites. On Thursday, we have Dario from Italy, and we have James Vavel from the Cayman Islands. And then Friday we have Hannah's Homegirls from Ontario, Paul Hannah's Homegirls. And so we're kind of we're working our way around the world currently to get updates on all of the brokerages that we love and that we trust. And we get to say hi to all of our good friends from around the world. And I still can't believe that 45 days ago, we were all in Las Vegas together.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's a crazy situation, but here we are. I mean, everybody needs to stay safe. I mean, another thing which obviously our agents are doing is they don't get in the car with clients. They go with masks if they're going to show a house. They let the clients inside the house if it's an empty house. If it's a 99% of the time, if it's a house that's occupied, we don't show it. So we're being very cautious. So which you have to be in this case. But thank God, 450 agents, and I don't have anybody in the group that has caught anything. So that's a super result for now. And we're looking 2-3 weeks. We might be one of the first European countries really out of this. So, and that would be great.
Excellent. And how is Natalia, your wife, and how is your beautiful new baby doing?
Oh.
Well, come here. Bring Junior here now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, bring the baby.
Yes. This is the part of the show where we get our dogs out.
But Kevin brings his baby.
Oh my gosh.
Hello.
Hello,
baby.
Hey.
Look at those eyes. Oh my gosh.
I've got Kevin frozen. I can't see him, but
so
I know.
Wow.
That is what it's all about. Spending time with loved ones, and this is great.
He loves
He's
mobile
gotten-
phones.
He's gotten so big.
He's like, give me that phone.
Yeah, he loves
hi.
Say hey, Junior. Say hey. Nat's
Junior.
okay. Obviously, she's bored.
Oh,
Well, we can't wait till there's no
Oh,
traffic
Moose
yet. We can all come visit.
Right?
Pass.
And give your
Pass the
wife
child.
Natalia big hugs and kisses for us also.
Yeah, no problem. Okay.
Excellent.
So, well, you guys, I guess stay safe.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Are there
We
any?
need to all take the positive thing out of this, and I think there are some good positives. Any other questions?
Just why don't you go ahead and leave us on a good, happy, positive note of advice to America on moving forward to get through this, because you're definitely ahead of our curve.
Well, I mean, it's simple. Be careful. Be alert. Carry around something to wash your hands with all the time.
Yep.
Stay away, and keep your distance from people. And everything will fall into place. I mean, it's a flu that we don't know about. I think the worst thing is we don't know where it is and we can't see it. But it will disappear. It will be over. We'll laugh about it next year in Vegas. So I'm looking quite positive that the scientists of this world and whatever will they'll come up with a vaccine, and we'll look behind us, and I think every property market will take a bit of a little shock, but that's always good for the market, and it gives us a lot of opportunities coming our way. So that's my positive note on the whole situation.
Love it. Silver lining. This too shall pass,
Excellent.
right?
Yep.
Yes.
Pardon?
Yes, it will.
Yes.
Yes.
So thank you so much for joining us. And obviously, we miss you dearly. And we cannot wait for the airports in Malta to open, because, we might want to be Wild West Realtors of Malta also. And
Well, I mean, to be honest, one of the disappointing things, hopefully they extended for next year, was in October we're going to have a top agent conference and a top broker conference in Malta for Europe. So we were going to replace the European convention, so it was going to be here. It would have been a great time. Anybody who would have came would have a blast. We know how to party in Malta, so
you know how to party wherever you are.
You are the party.
Be it Vegas, be it Miami. You are definitely hard to keep up with. That's for damn sure.
Work hard, play hard, people.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So
that's the motto.
That's the motto, baby. That's the motto.
That is the motto. And we can't wait to see you again. And so everyone that's still logged on, Kevin Buttigieg. Did I get it?
Good enough. Good enough.
Good enough. From Remax Malta, along with we've got Alexa Caballo Hughes, Connecticut, Annette Leba Dalton, Phoenix, Sunrise, Arizona, Tabitha Wewell, Cleveland, Ohio, and Sandra Massari, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Connecticut, and I am Kinsey Lee Eggles in Southwest Florida, and we are the Real Housewives of Real Estate. Please join us tomorrow at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we have Gabrielo Castillo from Nicaragua, and we will be signing off. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, Kevin.
Bye, everyone.
Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, ladies.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.